Today, we're going to learn how to customize the Mosaic tool within Reactor's shader toys. Once we have a Fusion clip on the timeline in Davinci Resolve, we can go into the Fusion page and set up our node tree. I'm going to bring in an image and merge it with a background. Once we switch inputs, we can see our image in the viewer. We will turn this alpha down to 0 to make it transparent. We'll bring in our other image and do the same thing with adding a transparency. Then for the first image, we'll add a transform node, and that will allow us to move it and size it up. When we go to merge these two images, we see that we can move and size up the other one as well. Then we can fine-tune with further adjustments. Next, we will find the Mosaic tool. We will center our image how we want it, and then we can animate our scale option. We can put a keyframe anywhere we'd like. Then we can go to the beginning of the clip and bring the scale down. This gives the image a wallpaper quality. Next, we can adjust the mosaic size. We can create a keyframe where we can clearly see what the image is. Then, we can move our playhead further along in the timeline, and we can adjust the size down. Now we see more of a mosaic than a clear image. Next, we can adjust to a different border size. This keyframe here will give a thinner line. If we create a different keyframe with a much bigger number, then the mosaic lines will completely overtake the image. Now when we play it back, we see the mosaic pieces getting smaller and smaller. This animation on its own is done, but if you want to add a frame or a screen around it, you can add that to the node tree as well. Here we will merge a computer screen image. When we swap inputs, we see that the size has to come way down. Once we have a better size, we can place it better within the screen. Now when we play our animation back, it's all happening inside the computer screen. If we want to add some text to this, we can add it in this text box. Just pick whatever font you'd like. Next, we can change the color. And I also like to adjust the tracking just so the letters are spread out a little more. Now we can add a transform node and a mosaic blur node to create a mosaic effect on the text itself. With the pixel frequency, we see that this changes the pixelation of the text. We can set an initial keyframe, and then we can change to a different value further in the timeline. This looks really pixelated, so in the Settings tab, we will find our blend values. We can set a keyframe, and then further down, we can set the value to 0. Now we can read what the text says. It might be easier to see if I change the checkerboard to black. So now we can manipulate the timing of when the text appears on screen and when it disappears. We'll create a few keyframes for the beginning and some for the end. And now, when we see this merge in the viewer, we can fine-tune some size and center parameters. And when we click on Fit to our screen, we see that the text appears briefly and then disappears as the mosaic breaks into little shards and turns to black. Now, with the Transform node, we can further manipulate the text animation. We can go to the Y size and change the value. Once we create that keyframe, we can then create a keyframe back at 1, which makes the text more legible. When we play it back, we see it's highly pixelated to highly legible. We can also do one more adjustment and just bring the text a bit higher. Now we can connect to a Media Out node so that when we go to our Edit page, we can see how our animation plays out. That was it for this video. Just a brief explanation of the various tiling patterns you can do with the Mosaic tools in Davinci Resolve.